Morning, folks.
Morning, all. Thanks a million for joining us this morning. We're here to discuss. Sorry?
Is it okay from...
Is it? All right, thanks a million for joining us. We're here this morning to discuss the Criminal Law Bill 2018, in short terms, Fagin's Law. We've produced this bill, which I hope to take leave of later on this afternoon, inside in the House. And the whole purpose of the bill was where we have been identified through the 10th Rapporteur Report for Child Protection by Dr. Jeffrey Shannon, that there was a gap there where children who are being used for crime, they needed protection, and we need to protect children who are being used for crime. And I talk about children who are doing shoplifting, I talk about children who are breaking into GA pitches, I talk about children who are breaking into bathroom windows and helping in burglaries and opening the front doors. So we have a lot of children out there who are either being used by older siblings, who are used being scrupulous adults, or family members. And we believe that it's incumbent on us under child protection to bring forward a bill to gap that what's existing there at this moment in time. I've spoken to Retail Excellence, and they welcome this bill that's coming here this morning for the simple reason they're losing an awful lot of business on a weekly basis, on an annual basis, due to shoplifting. My own colleague, Dr. Keith Swanwick, has a bill going through as well at the moment in relation to lifeguard materials and the ring boys. That is small, it sounds small and everything else like that, but when it's repeated on a regular basis, it leads to more sinister crime as the child gets older. Like in the 2014, there was a survey done that 1 in 10 of all burglaries that took place, a child was involved in it. So I think it's incumbent on us as legislators to protect those children. So that's what we're bringing forward later on today.
Yeah, I just want to commend Anne for coming up with the initiative here as the Justice spokesperson. I'm very happy to support it, as is the whole party, obviously. I think it is an innovative proposal. As Anne has indicated in the piece earlier on, and in the document, there is experience of this in Victoria and Australia where it's worked well. I think, it's incumbent upon us to try to come up with some form of solutions for children who are propelled into crime. It's very difficult to hold children criminally liable for any acts, but the proposal here is that if adults are seeking to recruit children, if they know that the individual they're recruiting is a child, or they're reckless as to whether or not they're a child, well, then in that situation the adult themselves should have some liability for the criminal act of the child.
What kind of sanctions, can I ask you, are you talking about? And also, I suppose in the aftermath of the events during the storm where there was some criminal activity, do you think this would prevent such actions in the future?
I think it will go a long way towards addressing these actions, to be honest with you. There is a criminal sanction in it, and maximum criminal sanction is 10 years in jail.
Is there any danger around that perhaps older, more cunning children could use this as a defence and just go out and say, you made me do it and get off from that?
Older as in over 18?
No, between 16 and 18 perhaps.
Possibly they could, but I think already there is a whole mechanism where on Garda Síochána have an interviewing process which they will be able to use both if this law was enacted to actually further their investigations to get a right resolution, to be honest with you.
And have you given any indication of how the bill will be supported by other members of the House?
I am very happy to say that a lot of people over the last number of weeks have come from me from all parties and none to say that it's a welcome measure going in the right direction. They will be coming forward themselves possibly with some amendments, but they will be supportive overall.
Including the government?
They haven't said anything to the negative on it.
There was broad support even from some backbenchers in government when this was first put forward by Dr. Shannon. Also, he is talking about it not only in relation to sexual acts but burglary or to anything. So it's a wide range, isn't it?
That's exactly it, Martina. And at the very beginning, that's what I said. It's not just one particular hat fits all on this. This is a right cross-section of it. From the real small insidious crime behaviour, from the petty lifting of the packet of Rolos inside a supermarket, to the crimes that you're just after indicating there. So it's trying to address it all, to be quite honest with you.
You're relying to a certain extent on the exercise of discretion by prosecuting authorities here, or whether they use this or not. Would it be inappropriate if there was a crime involving a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old acting in concert?
Well, I suppose there's always discretion on the part of the DPP and indeed the Gardaí in terms of making a report to the DPP. That discretion exists in respect of everything. A situation like that could arise, but I would find it surprising in that situation if the 19-year-old was going to be prosecuted because of it,
Jim, on a separate matter, I just believe you were at the Justice Committee this morning. Could you tell us your reaction and your thoughts on the revelations, I suppose, and the statements from the Garda analysts?
Well, as you're aware, the Justice Committee decided a number of weeks ago that we were going to investigate, as part of our work programme, the whole issue of the homicide review. 3 weeks ago we had senior members of An Garda Síochána who came in, gave evidence to the committee in respect to that. About 10 days ago we invited in 2 civilian members from An Garda Síochána. We're very pleased that they accepted the invitation of the committee. They've come in this morning. I've actually just stepped out from the committee to be here, but they've given very interesting and important evidence. I think it indicates that Garda senior management didn't take seriously enough the report that they were conducting into the homicide review, particularly between the period November 2016 and September 2017. If I'm to be able to highlight one point of positive news from what they have stated downstairs today, however, it is that the homicide review is now accommodating their methodology. They are now part of the homicide review, and I think it's very important from the public interest that that review is completed thoroughly and quickly.
Can I just ask another separate issue, both your positions as Justice Spokesman and Children's Spokesman, and reviews of the Supreme Court decision the past hour?
Yeah, well, in fairness to me, I've been down at the committee meeting. I've just had an opportunity to stand out. I'm aware that the Supreme Court have allowed the appeal. I understand from what's reported that they have indicated that there is no inherent rights in the unborn child outside Article 43.3. From, I suppose, a political point of view, I think that probably from the point of view of getting a referendum bill through the House will make that issue easier. I don't think the government have been placed with too many obstacles in its way now as a result of that decision, but I haven't had an opportunity to review it in detail.
I was in committee myself already this morning, Children's Committee, so I actually didn't hear the news till I just heard 2 minutes ago from Jim.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.